Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of my LinkedIn Live series. I'm here with Mcgraw. He is a logo and brand designer at Mcgrawsome Design, which I think is an awesome name. He's a podcast host, a content creator as well. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm amazing, Steven. It's Friday, end of the week. I get jazzed up for Fridays, not just because it's like the end of the week. I look forward to the weekend. Every day is the same to me. I'll work on Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I eat it up. But Friday, it seems to always come together. Like you close some sales, you move your business forward. Friday, a lot of people take their foot off the gas by like noon, right? For me, it's noon right now. I know for you, it's a little bit earlier, but like I'm still going, man. I go to 5, 6, 8 o'clock. I love Fridays, man. It's because a lot of things roll out on Fridays, and it's always a good vibe. It's not relaxed time. It's like get stuff done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I love that. And for me, slightly a little different, right? Friday's the end of the work week for me. I have a regular full-time job, but I like to end my week. This is a little early for me, but I like to end my week with my live stream. So it's a good way to kind of make that transition from work into, okay, now I have the weekend. But either way, it's gonna be a fun conversation.
I mean, we know what we're doing here, so I know we'll kill it.
So yeah, Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Steven, it's great to be here. My name is Nick Mcgraw. I'm a freelance branding and logo designer. I run my own kind of brand called Mcgrawsome because I'm so creative that I actually, the name, I saw that on a t-shirt once and I was like, I'm gonna steal that, and that's mine. So I went and bought the domain. That's how creative I am. I just rip other people off. But no, seriously. I'm a logo and brand designer, and I help people build up their brands online. I work with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and business owners to help build out their brand online so that they can get in front of their audience more and hopefully sell more stuff to them. Because if people can see your brand, they can then buy from you. If they can see you and recognize you, they might be able to make a decision on you. That way you're not invisible, right? It's all about visibility, getting in front of the right people. The awareness part of your sales funnel, that's what I deal with. The very top of the funnel, the awareness, and getting eyes on your brand.
Yeah, that is awesome, because you may have an amazing product, you may have an amazing service, but if no one knows you exist, it doesn't even matter, right? It's the same thing like, we'll talk about creating content as well. It's like your LinkedIn profile. You may have the most amazing LinkedIn profile, but if no one sees you, you don't comment on stuff, you don't create content, no one knows you exist, right? Therefore, you won't be able to get your sales or clients or things like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's about showing up, right? I mean, you could have 10 doctorates. You could be the smartest person on this planet. You could have a solution for everything. But if you don't show up and you don't say, hi, this is what I'm all about. I'm going to plant my flag on this hill. These are my values. If you share those values, maybe we can be friends. You don't project your values out into the world. You don't project that with a brand, whether it's a personal brand or you're a business and you have packaged goods and you ship out. I'm not saying you have to show up with your face all the time, but your brand must show up. Right. And so we won't be able to grow, and we won't be able to scale and grow the way we want to without that awareness. So yeah, super key. And that's what those are my values, helping other people look their best.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a perfect transition into our first topic. Why is branding your business so important? We talked a little bit about no one knows you exist. And I mean, you can't get your sales to clients, but and on top of that, why else is branding your business so important?
We should probably preface that question and dispel a myth first. I think a lot of people think branding is just the colors I pick, or the pretty fonts that I pick, or my logo looks good in my profile pic, right? Branding is so much more than that. Branding is your messaging and your positioning that you're going to take in the market, right? So let's use me as an example. I'm a freelancer, I'm a designer, but I don't want to be like a big agency. I don't run my business like I have a lot of overhead. I don't have some receptionist. If you want to talk to Nick, you talk to Nick. I'm very transparent. I'm very raw, and I try to be as authentic as possible. You want to talk to me, you get me. My clients DM me all the time. I'm right there talking to them, right? So there's a particular way I like to brand myself. It's not like an agency. It's not like some ghost person. There's a lot of designers out there who hide behind a logo that they made. I have a logo for my business. Nobody knows what it looks like because I'm not posting it everywhere all the time. I'm posting me and my face because I want to project my personal branding and my personal values out into the world. My thinking is that you could buy my services from anywhere. You could get a logo from Fiverr, from Upwork. You could also go more expensive and go get a logo from a big agency. You could go get a branding website, a whole branded suite of things, right, to help you sell stuff and grow your business. But why would you buy from me? I think it's because people like working with me. I think I have a pretty unique personality. I have my own flair. And I think people like that connection that they have with me. They don't have a connection with a ghost of a designer who just hides behind logos, hides behind graphics and carousels all day. And they don't have a connection with maybe the big agency types who are just massive corporations. You never get to talk to the creative director or the art directors. There's a laundry list of correspondence you have to go through before you get any action, right? I kind of build my personal brand as a fresh alternative to all of that, right? So branding is so much more than just your logo, your colors, your fonts, how pretty your website is, the structure of your emails, right? It's the positioning and messaging you've decided to take and put those values out into the world. So you ask why branding is so important. At least now we know that it's so much more than just pretty colors and fonts. Branding is important because, as we started the show off, you need to stand out. We are absolutely bombarded with information and data day to day. Like if it's not TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Facebook or Instagram that's hitting, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm bombarded with your information all day long, right? I cannot remember what I just scrolled past. I genuinely cannot remember. So if we can do something to stop that, if we can halt people and we can arrest them, whether it's through a tone of voice that you've picked or some flashy image or a product or whatever it is, if we can stop people and really get them to pay attention to you, you have one chance to stand out to them. That one chance, if we can repeat that over and over and over again through content, through sharing products and images and all that, if we can help you stand out, you can grow. Your business won't have a business unless you're making sales, right? One of the things that I help you do is I help you get those sales by standing out, by again planting your flag in that hill, saying, hi, I'm here, I have stuff to sell, do you need it, right? And speaking to the right audience who would want to buy into you, right? Branding is important because it gives you a chance to get noticed. It gives the audience that you're trying to target a chance to buy into you, a chance to say yes to you. Nobody likes being sold to, but they love to buy. They love to buy in. So give them that chance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you made some many great important points there. First of all, I think your logo, your banner photo, absolutely pretty, right? Great colors and everything. But like you said, it's beyond the visual. It's all about that connection, that personality, right? People want to work with you, with your business, because of you, not because of the color or your font, or your banner photo or things like that. You're getting the whole package, and like you said, your clients message you directly. That's a service. That's something unique about you that like you said, other agencies or Fiverr or other things can't provide.
Right.
So it's like I brand myself on LinkedIn. I brand myself as a former shy introvert. I share my story with as many people as I can, so people connect with me because they resonate with that story. They want to see, oh, if Steven can do it, Steven used to be a shy introvert. I'm a shy introvert. I'm able to learn from Steven. I'm able to get some tips and advice from him because he's gone through that journey. So that's a great way to explain your brand is more than just the visual part. It's everything. It's the whole package around it as well.
Yeah, and you found a way to stand it. You found a way to make that connection, to bridge with your audience. Well, I'm a shy introvert. I don't really love public speaking, but Steven figured it out. Maybe there's something he can teach me. And so you've come halfway. They're coming halfway to meet you because there's a know, like, and trust factor here. And so now they know who you are. And now they like you and what you've said. And now they're beginning to trust you. So they can start making decisions on you. And maybe they DM you. Maybe they want to get some coaching under you. Whatever it is that you can provide to them as a service. I'm happy to give my advice away full-time for free. I'm happy to just do content for the rest of my life and tell people how they can be a better brand and brand themselves and all that stuff. But yeah, you, Steven, have figured out what makes you, what makes you unique. And other people are having this problem as well. So I actually really like what you're doing, and I really like your brand, and I have ever since we met, because yours doesn't sound like anyone else's, especially on LinkedIn. I know you're unique, and so because of that, you stand out against a sea of sameness.
Yeah, exactly. And then you said a great point there as well. Your brand is unique, right? My brand is unique. Your brand is unique, right? And I mean, both of us, we get the messages from people saying, "Hey, do you want us to help you make a logo? You want to make a website?" It's like, I never met you before. How?
That's right.
Like, there's no connection there, right? But now, I share my story. You share your story with your clients, with your network, and people resonate with that. So that's why we're willing to work with you rather than a stranger who, yeah, I have a lot of work. I have a portfolio and everything, but I never talked to you before. Like, I don't resonate with you, right? Because when it comes to these, service-based or helping people, you want to make sure the person you work with, you have a good relationship with, you have a good connection with. If they don't respond well, if they are slow, if they do half-assed work. It's just doesn't work out at the end of the day. You want to have someone that you genuinely trust, and they trust you as well to go both ways.
Let me ask you this: have you ever jumped into a Zoom call with someone for the first time, and the first words out of their mouth are, "Wow, I feel like I already know you"? That's branding. That's
Absolutely.
a great definition for it, because I've had that a couple of times, and it feels so good. You're like, "Oh, it's working. Everything I'm doing is working."
I just recorded a podcast interview with someone yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, I feel like I already know all about you already. This is just us sharing with your audience. Like the host knew me already, but she's just sharing it with their audience." So yeah, no, that's a great point as well. So I guess I'm doing a good job. You're doing a great job as well, Dick.
Exactly.
So yeah, we talked about why it's so important. I mean, there's so many reasons there. How do you properly brand your business? How do you find that specific niche, or how do you find that thing to make you unique, make you stand out compared to everyone else?
There could be a lot of answers for this one. My favorite, and you'll hear this from a lot of entrepreneurs. One of my favorite entrepreneurs up here in Toronto is Evan Carmichael, who's been influential on me and my business. Your purpose comes from your pain. So you're a great example, Stephen. You're a shy introvert. I'm sure that was an obstacle for you for a long time. Didn't know how to get over that. But you have found a way through, I'm sure, learning and coaching and understanding what your obstacle is, and you've developed systems and processes for yourself to get through that, right? You have managed that obstacle, right? But that was your pain for a long time. And now you help others find solutions for the same thing. I'm the shy introvert who's now a podcast host, and I talk to people all the time. Let me help you get rid of your shy introversion, or at least combat, or at least deal with it as an obstacle, right? So if you believe that your purpose comes from your pain, that's the start of branding your business. Like that's the start of it. You want to talk about niching down. You want to talk about finding your target audience. You want to talk about delivering a product. Let's start with why you exist. Let's start with why you're even here, right? And these are studies that I do with my clients, especially if they're in the early days of building their business. We have to do what's called like a brand strategy workshop, where I take them through a couple hours on Zoom. Like maybe we'll be like a couple hours here, and then another day a couple hours, and it's a multi-day workshop where I'm asking them, what are your core values? Like, what do you stand for? I'm not asking the products you sell. I'm asking, what do you stand for? What do you stand for, right? They could be authenticity, integrity, transparency, passion, right? You could be eco-friendly. You could be sustainability could be something for you. Relationship driven. All these things are sort of like action words, and they describe your core values. So Nike is a great example. One of their core values is innovation. They constantly innovate. They're constantly looking for new materials, new systems and processes to bring us to the next level of athleticism, right? So innovation is a big one for them. When you know exactly why you are here and what you are going to bring to the world and why you exist, and a lot of that can be discovered from your own pain, your purpose comes from your pain, then you can begin to figure out, oh, this is a problem I had. I know for a fact other people have this problem. What sort of product or service can I build for them that's a solution to their problem? Maybe it's a book you have to write that you haven't written yet. Maybe it's a product, one thing on a landing page that needs to be built. Maybe it's a coaching service that you haven't built. Maybe it's a 3-month or 6-month program that is yet to exist because you haven't made it. Whatever it is, you know it's rooted in your pain that you have solved for yourself. You now need to go solve that for others. So you ask how to properly brand your business. You don't start with a logo. You start with this deep think stuff. You start with digging deep and scraping the bottom of the well for these answers. And then it's almost like everything else becomes clear. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need a website. I need this. I need that. I need a supply chain. All of the other things are easy. I need a supplier in some other country to get that product shipped over. It all becomes easy once you know why you exist and who you are supposed to serve.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. A few weeks ago, I had my guest. He created his own startup, and he shared the same thing. Right, his passion came from, or his purpose came from a pain point that he had, and that really pushes him harder. I asked him, what keeps you motivated to keep going with your startup? It's a lot of work. Same thing with the business, right? It's not quite the scale of a big startup yet, right? We're not with a team of people, but even with starting a business, it's hard. So you need to have that pain point where like, I want to fix this, and because I've gone over it, or I'm still trying to fix it, I want to put in my effort into it, because starting a business isn't easy. Coaching others isn't easy. But I wish I knew this when I started my coaching business 2 years ago. I was
Right.
focused more on how to create a website, how do I find clients and things like that. I haven't figured out what my niche is, and over time I realized that what, I used to be a shy introvert, and I took these steps to build confidence, to believe in myself, to take on new opportunities, and that's gotten me more and more opportunities to where I am today. So now I want to share that with many people, because I feel like if I'm able to go through it, everyone has that potential, everyone has that opportunity, that ability to take on more opportunities, or to challenge themselves, or to build confidence in themselves as well.
I really like one of the points that you laid down was like, starting is hard. Like, make no bones about it, man. Like, starting up is hard, not just for a startup, but for like individuals like you and I, sole proprietors, solopreneurs. Starting is hard, right? One of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember who it's from, but a man who has a why can survive any how. If you have a reason to do it, if you have a why, it's like where there's a will, there's a way. I will figure out how to do it if I have a real need to do it. If I have a why, if I have a real purpose, I have a reason to bring this to people, how I do it doesn't matter. I'll figure that out later, but I know I have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I started with why is branding your business so important, and then we get into the how. As part of the, this is for you, for our audience to figure out, hey, do I really need to do this? Don't tell me to do things when I don't realize what the importance of it is. Now I understand the importance of why branding is so important. How do I do it? And this is a great way to have a conversation and to share any topics to help convince someone that this is very what we're talking about is very important as well.
So is this the question now? How do you properly brand your business? Is this the question, or is this what we've been talking about the whole time?
This is what we've been talking about.
Okay. I thought it popped up on the screen. I'm like, haven't I been reading that the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, no, yes, you have. Yes, you have. But that's
it's because all the other text keeps moving, and I'm like, I can't remember because I'm looking at you and I want to answer you. I don't want to read the stock market scroll across the screen.
No, the stock market, the ticker on the bottom, that doesn't change. Right? No.
The ticker.
So, but no, that's the beauty of StreamYard. I highly recommend it for those who are looking to get into live streaming. So just putting the plug out there. So now we talked about branding, right? First, figure out what your purpose is, figure out what your niche is, and then we talk about business logo. That can come second, third, or fourth. But since you help people with creating logos, why is a business logo so important?
Because it's the first thing that people see. It's like that first badge of honor, right? Like you walk into any sports store, like down in the US, you have Dick's Sporting Goods, right? So we have one up here called Sport Check. It's just as big. It's like multi-level stores, 3 stories high. You got the outdoor adventure with the kayak section over there. Then you got your running shoes over here. When you walk into one of these stores, you know where Nike lives because there's a big friggin' sign with a giant check mark that says, well, over here is where we keep all the Nike shoes. And you can see it from the front door. You're like, I'm going over to the Nike section. Right? And you know what you're about to get there. You know you're about to get premium product and the best shoes probably in the world, right? It's the first thing people see. Once they see it, they don't need any other information. If they know your brand, like if you're a brand that's been around for as long as Nike or Starbucks or the NFL or whatever other brand is out there, once they see the logo, instantly all the memories and all the emotions come flooding in and they go, oh, I know what that means. Okay, now I can consume the product. So if it's a digital product that you consume through a screen or it's a physical product you buy in a box, once they see the logo, that's their ability to recognize, oh, that's the brand I love or hate. I either want to go towards it or avoid it. So it's the first thing people see. It doesn't have to describe everything your business does, right? Name me an airline that uses a silhouette of an airplane, right? I can't name any. Right? Name me like a soccer team or a sports franchise that like always has a soccer ball or always has a basket. Like you don't always have to describe what it is you do, right? A common cliche I see in the landscaping world is landscape businesses always have to use a tree or they always have to use a little green leaf, and it's green. Like it's going to be green. Like of course they're going to use that color. Right? If you're an auto body shop or a mechanic, you don't just have to use the silhouette of a car. People think the logo is so important. It's the first and last thing about a business. It's the first thing about a business, but it's not the last thing, right? So it doesn't need to describe what you do. You don't need to pack every little thing. Like you could never fit your resume on a business card, could you? So why would you try to put that into your logo, that one little mark? Right? It just needs to be simple and memorable enough where hopefully people could draw it from memory. That's why Nike is so beautiful. because anyone could draw the Nike logo, but try to draw the Starbucks logo. That's like impossible, right? Even for me, and I draw all day long, right? Your logo is the first thing people see, and it helps them anchor into the emotional connection with the brand. They're like, oh, Nike, yeah, I know what they're all about. Or, Air Canada, I know what they're all about. Or whatever, Toyota, yeah, I know what that brand's about. So it helps to anchor your emotional connection to the brand because you see that logo. You're like, I recognize that. But it doesn't have to be the last thing, right? Once I enter the Honda dealership, if I have to take my car to the whatever, I want to buy a new car, I see the Honda logo, I drive it, and then I'm not talking about that logo anymore. I'm just talking about the products and the good or bad feelings that I get when I buy or drive the products, right? So it's our anchor to the emotional connection we have with these brands. Like I said, it's the first thing, but it shouldn't be the last thing about your brand.
Yeah. And that's a great point I wanted to emphasize, right? It's the first thing that people see. And you mentioned it that some people might have a good reaction to it or a bad reaction to it. So that's why everything else we talked about earlier about building your brand, finding your niche, sharing your story, showing your personality. That's so important because yes, I can see Nick Mcgraw, I can see your name, or I can see your logo, McGrawsome. That gives me positive vibes. We talked, sometime last year over Zoom. I know when I talk to Nick, he's going to bring some great energy. So that resonates with me. That's the reaction that I get, right? So again, don't focus all your attention on the brand or on your logo. Focus most of your attention on the brand. That's the thing behind the logo. And that's what people remember you as.
That's right. Yeah, that's perfect, man. That's perfect.
Great. And then let's get to our final part here about creating content. How do you start? We talked about just start, right? But what are some other tips you want to add to that and when you start creating content?
Well, it actually, we could go back to a previous answer. It's like, how do you brand yourself, right? And when you figure out why you exist and why you're here, the next question you answer is, okay, I know why I'm here. I know why I exist, but who is it for? Oh, I'm here to help such and such. I'm here to help this group of people or that one person, right? There's a type of person, my ideal customer, if you will, my ideal client avatar, who is going through this pain every day of their life. And I know I'm the person who can bring that solution to them, right? So if we know that about ourselves, and that's finding our foundation, that's finding our niche, right? As a business, as a brand, how do you start creating content is almost self-evident. It almost answers itself. Talk about what you know. Talk about what you know, right? I know about branding and identity, like logos and stuff. I know about content creation. So it sounds a little like self-fulfilling. It sounds like it's almost like Inception. I'm going to talk about the thing that we're talking about. Like I make content talking about content, right? It's almost like Inception. But make content about what you know, right? So Stephen, I've seen it before, talking about this is how I beat my introversion. This is how I was. I know this is the person I was. I was a shy introvert, couldn't make friends easily, whatever it was scared to talk to new people, build new relationships. This is how I beat it. These are some of the steps I took. Talk about what you know. Talk about what you know. Because one, there's no way you're going to lie. You know exactly, you're telling the truth. You're not making stuff up. Talk about what you know. And I guarantee you, other people have that problem. You're not so unique that these problems are just yours. I'm telling you, other people have these problems. We're all human. We all have these problems. We all have imposter syndrome. We all think we can't do it. We all think, oh my God, I'm way in over my head. I'm barely keeping my head above water. People are drowning all the time, right? Trust me, your problems are not so unique to you. Other people have them too. So when you talk about what you know, people latch onto that. It won't happen overnight, right? But people start to see and take notice what you're saying and what you're doing with your content. So they say, oh, wow, that resonates with me because I have the same problem. So it's funny that Stephen has that problem. Okay, well, now I made a friend in Stephen, right? So when you start talking about what you know, right, and just putting that out there, it doesn't have to be pretty with graphics. A couple of videos would help. I'm a big proponent of video. People can see your face and you want to be a personal brand, you're inevitably going to have to do some video. But if you just talk about what you know to start, maybe that's this foundation for you building a greater content strategy. Post once a week. See if you can manage that. And then that becomes twice a week, maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays or Wednesdays and Fridays. All of a sudden you're up to 3 and 4 times a week. Then it just becomes part of your life, right? So it doesn't have to be intimidating. You could start with one. But I honestly suggest to start talking about what you know. And then eventually you'll start to build certain themes like content pillars, like buckets. I always talk about these 4 things, but there's a laundry list of topics underneath them, right? So Talk about what you know. You can't go wrong. Eventually, people will pick up on what you're saying because they feel it too.
Exactly. And I shared pretty much the same thing when I did my LinkedIn workshop last weekend, and I shared about why you should start creating content. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't know what to post about." So I say, share your experiences,
Yes,
share
you
your
do.
lessons learned, right? Because you don't have an excuse. There are high school students posting content on LinkedIn, and you're
Yeah.
at least if you're in college, you have 4 years of experience more than they do, right? So share, like you said, Nick, your lessons learned, your experiences. You're not the only one going through it. Other people can resonate with it. For me, when I started creating content, I started with weekly videos, and my content was just sharing career advice. I didn't have that niche yet, but
Right.
I felt like that. I had people who helped me in my career. I've gone to presentations. I have mentors, and I want to help more people because what's the point of keeping all that knowledge to myself, right?
Right.
We're not here to compete with each other. We're here to help and support and collaborate with each other. So I started with weekly videos, and as I went along over the year, I started posting more. I started experimenting with text posts, with images, and then continued with my weekly videos. And now I'm posting pretty much every day throughout the week.
Yeah.
Right? I started doing LinkedIn Lives. I'm repurposing the content. So don't try to overthink things. Start with, like you said, start with weekly and post about what you know. Post about your experiences because that really resonates with people. When I started with career advice the first year, yeah, my videos had some views and engagement. But the second year, when I started sharing things that were personal to me, because I ran out of things to talk about from my original list, but I shared about things I was going through like that week. It really resonated with my audience because I was talking about stress management, I was talking about time management, working full time, going through grad school. That message really resonated with a lot of people. So that's when I started gaining that following as well.
The one thing that you put down there that I want to pick up is you talked about like content variety. Like I wrote some, I made some images, I've made some videos. I'm not even suggesting you need to have a variety. Like eventually when you get going, you'll want some Canva graphics that you make yourself or some little animated clips or whatever. The posts that I keep seeing go crazy, Stephen, are like the written posts. There's people with like 80,000 connections and a written post will get 200,000 likes, 200,000 impressions, right? Sometimes the written word is, if we're talking about LinkedIn, which we are here, the written word is still so powerful on LinkedIn. People resonate with that stuff. If you just made 2 posts a week for the rest of the year and they only were type, fine. Get your feet wet, grow into it, right? Don't let it stress you out because maybe by 2023 you can post an image or a graphic you made, right? So I'm not even suggesting, while I love variety and I make variety for my clients, I'm not even suggesting you have to do that. If all you're comfortable is hiding behind the keyboard for now, that's fine. You'll grow into it. Confidence will build, right? But just doing it and talking about what you know, you got to start.
Exactly. Yeah. Do what you're comfortable with. Yeah, that's the main point, right? Do what
Yep.
you're comfortable with. Not everyone's comfortable with video right off the bat.
Right.
That's how I started. But that gave me a lot more confidence to start doing text posts because the video was the hardest part about it. But yeah, share what you know. Do what you're comfortable with. Start with once a week, maybe twice a week, and just see where it goes and just share your story. And people really, really resonate with that.
Exactly.
Great. So Nick, thank you so much for sharing about why branding your business is so important. We talked about how to properly brand it. Talk about your logo is important up front, but it's not the entire part of your brand. So
That's
now
right.
I want to give you the opportunity to make your plug. This is Nick's LinkedIn profile, linkedin.com/in/Nick Mcgraw-McGrawsome and you have a website as well, mcgrawsome.com. So Nick,
Yep.
how can you help others? What do you need help with, or anything else you want to share?
So I think content is probably one of the most important parts for anyone's business. It doesn't matter what you call it. It used to be called advertising, then marketing, and now it's called content. It's all the same. You do need to market yourself or your brand, right? Across social media all the time. Like you need to stand out, right? So I created this totally free content checklist. It's a 2-page checklist to see what steps you're missing and what things you're missing from the next post you make. So I strongly suggest anyone who's struggling with content, doesn't know what to do, wants a little bit of more zhuzh to their content, a little bit more oomph to make it take off a little bit more and make it perform better, hit up my website, mcgrawsome.com. You will see where you get the content checklist. Put in your email, content checklist is yours, and that'll supercharge your next piece of content you post.
Great. you can't beat free resources. So Nick, thank you for sharing that content checklist at mcgrawsome.com. Make sure you go to his website, go to his LinkedIn as well. And if you need help with branding your business, if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, need help with branding your business, reach out to Nick as well.
Thank you,
Any
Stephen.
final words, Nick?
You know what, man? I think we covered it all. I think branding is super important for your business, and I think everyone figures it out at their own pace. The journey is different for everybody, and when you're ready to take that leap and to get some professional services, I'm right here for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be scared to reach out. Right, we're all here to help people. That's the reason we're doing what we're doing. This is the reason I'm doing LinkedIn Live. This is why Nick is creating content. Helping businesses brand as well. We genuinely want to help people. So don't be afraid to connect with us and reach out.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching, and talk to you all next time.